Over the past 2 weeks, immigrant activists have been organizing to reunite 3 U.S.-born children with their father, who was recently placed in detention. As late as Wednesday, Eddie Arma was expected to be deported to Guatemala because of a traffic stop in 2009. He was detained earlier this month as he went to drive his kids to school in his driveway. His 11-year-old son, Jose, witnessed the agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement as they took his father into custody.
Monday morning, when me and my sisters were going to school, my dad was outside, and when I was going to go with him to open the car, these guys came and they got him and they arrested him. They arrested him, and I was trying to say goodbye to my dad, but they got him, and when I was trying to say goodbye, they pushed me in, and I fell on the ground.
Jose, you're 11 years old. You helped free your dad from detention. How do you feel today?
Today, I feel happy that he's out and they let him go.
And Eddie, why were you taken into custody, and how does it feel to be free after several weeks?
Pues me siento muy contento al estar con mi familia de nuevo, feliz por ver a mi hijo luchar por su padre, y aquí estoy con él, con mis hijas. Estoy muy contento por volver nuevamente con ellos.
He says,
Jose,
I feel
can you
happy
translate?
and I feel blessed to be here.
Go ahead, Didi. Go ahead.
Go ahead and translate. Yes, I feel happy and I feel blessed to be here. I feel proud of my son who fought for his father to get out. And I'm just extremely happy right now because I'm going to be able to be with him and my 2 daughters.
And Viridiana, could you talk about the campaign, the pressure campaign on the government to recognize the plight of this particular family?
Yeah, well, when we started organizing, we saw Eddie's case. He had no criminal record. He had 3 U.S. children. And according to all these guidelines set by the Obama administration, Eddie was a low priority case. And so we used their own promise to tell them, like, hey, this is what you told us. You said our community will not get deported anymore if they were non-criminals. And Eddie was not a criminal. And so on the same day that Obama was making his speech about immigration, Eddie was about to be deported. And so we continued the pressure and telling them that was what they said and exposing the lies that our community continues to be deported on a daily basis in high numbers. But at the same time, getting pressure from our congressmen, we're their constituents, and so making them advocate for this family and for Jose and for the 3 U.S. citizen children.
Jose, did you understand what was happening when your dad was taken in the driveway when he was about to drive you and your sisters to school?
Well, on that day, I didn't know why they took him. And then I told my mom why, and they didn't tell her. So I didn't understand why they took him.
Did the men tell you who they were, why they were doing this?
No, they didn't say anything.
And Eddie Arma, your time in detention, could you talk about that as well? How many people were you being held with as well during the detention process?
¿Cuánta gente estaba ahí y cómo fue el proceso de detención?
Personas se refiere a elementos de inmigración o a personas civiles.
La inmigración, los que estaban ahí con usted.
Fueron como 6 personas y me dijeron que tenía delito con ellos y pues actuaron de una manera que pues delante de mis hijos, algo que yo no quería que ellos vieran, y les pedí por favor no me esposaran para que mis hijos no pasaran otras o vieran todo eso.
Y luego habla de la detención, cómo fue cuando estaba dentro. Pero he's talking about when he was arrested, 6 men came take him, and he asked them, he pleaded for them to please not arrest him in front of his children, to please take him, but not do the arrest and not do it in front of the children. But it was useless. They went ahead and did that, and he didn't want his children to be traumatized and have to see that. And he's going to talk about the detention itself. ¿Cómo fue la detención cuando estaba arrestado en Eloy?
Pues fue un poco difícil pasar por donde tenemos que estar y para mí confuso el pensar de que no volvería a estar con mis hijos, el tiempo que estuve ahí, cómo comunicarme para que alguien ayudarme y pues aquí la señorita Viri pues hizo mucho por mí, pues aquí estamos, estoy de nuevamente con mi hijo gracias a la organización que existe, los activistas y toda la ayuda comunitaria que hay aquí.
It was really hard to be there, like the conditions and the treatment, the communication isn't easy, so I wasn't able to constantly talk to my family. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't able to let them know what was going on in there with me. I rarely communicated with them. It was hard, but the most frustrating thing was the fact that I wasn't able to be with my kids and thinking and having that thought of possibly never being able to see my children again. I think that was the hardest thing, but thanks to all the movement and the organizations and the activists that were out there who helped me without knowing me, I'm here now.
Viridiana Hernandez, as we wrap up, you yourself know arrests. You are one of the young dreamers. You've been arrested yourself, even though you too risk deportation. Can you talk about what's being proposed now, how it affects you, the activists, fellow students that you've been working with to change the U.S. immigration laws?
As an undocumented student, it's been really a long and frustrating process. We got deferred action, but that's not enough. We need deferred action for our communities. And then we need immigration reform. Meanwhile, while people talk and preach about immigration reform, again, we see good people that get to continue to be deported. And so one of the biggest things that we need to advocate for is the humanity part of this, and just if we're serious about comprehensive immigration reform, then we need to be serious about stopping the deportations, because while we wait another year, that's another 400,000 people. So as an advocate and as an activist with this, we continue to fight for those things and immigration reform, but in the meanwhile, we also want some kind of relief for our communities. And so we continue doing it. I mean, at this point, we have put out our face out there. We are risking ourselves because it's worth it. And so many organizations that worked in this case, Puente, Dream Activists, Team Awesome, we're getting united and we're saying that we're going to do this. And from the political side, we elected these people now. We had a huge Latino vote turnout in Arizona, door to door. The turnout was more than ever before. And so not only is it from the activist side of having these visuals, but it's also from the organized side that we have the votes as well.